Chair Williams cannot be here due to the other bills that he's running. So, Mr. Ellis, if you introduce yourself and we'll let you proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Bernie Ellis. I'm, I guess, the principal consultant on this bill. As I speak, I'd like the 6 patients who will be speaking to go ahead and get situated up front. The opening picture here is of Piper Kuzer, one of the 2 people we're naming the bill for, a little girl whose family took her to Colorado several months ago, and we'll let you know what her response has been. The basic outlines of the Kuzer-Kuhn Medical Cannabis Act have been before the legislature pretty much in this form since 2010. And since we first heard the bill, 8 more states have established medical cannabis programs. We're now up to 21 states in D.C. I expect within 12 months we'll be up to 30 states. The Veterans Administration now allows VA patients to use medical cannabis without penalty in states where it's legal. The National Cancer Institute now acknowledges numerous benefits of medical cannabis use. And we have shared in your packet the National Cancer Institute information. Since 2010, another 5,000 or so peer-reviewed medical journal articles have been published worldwide on medical cannabis. 4 U.S. state governors, Republican, Democrat, and Independent, have petitioned the Department of Justice to reclassify medical cannabis from Schedule I. The Department of Justice released a no interference policy memo, which also is in your packet, back in the summer. Our proposed bill meets their standards to the letter. And as Representative Jones said, 75% of Tennessee adults have told us in the last month that they support a medical marijuana program. What do we mean by a safe access program? Well, by safe, we mean that the medical cannabis will be grown, tested, processed, and packaged under rigorous and reliable standards. It will be available as soon as needed for eligible patients with approval from their health provider. It will be allowed for use only for serious conditions for which medical benefits of cannabis are well documented. And patients will have access to select varieties of known chemical composition standardized to allow their reliable use for discrete and targeted medical purposes. The program really has 3 operational phases. The cannabis production will occur, will be grown by licensed farmers who will be trained, supervised, and monitored by the Department of Agriculture. The processing of the cannabis will be done by licensed processors, also under the purview of the Department of Agriculture. And the distribution of the cannabis, one day we hope that'll happen in participating pharmacies, but until we can bring it back into pharmacies, regulated dispensaries and safe access patients will be monitored and overseen by the Department of Health. We have 3 main goals. Safe access patients should be able to access medical cannabis as soon as they're eligible, for as long as they're eligible without delay. The cannabis available to them should be of consistent high quality, safe, effective, reliable, and inexpensive. And the production, processing, and distribution of cannabis should occur under tightly controlled circumstances. We've spent a lot of time in the last 3 or 4 years talking about the outline. What we wanted to do today was hear from 6 patients, all of whom will be eligible for the program. You'll either hear from patients or patient advocates, and I'd like to introduce them now, and they'll speak one after another. At the far end is Andrew Booker from Nashville, an epilepsy and autoimmune disease patient. Tony Corbin from Lebanon, who will be speaking on behalf of her son Wally Peterson, a paralyzed patient who suffers from chronic central pain syndrome. Next is Seth Green from Johnson City, a cerebral palsy patient. Just let me put my glasses back on. Penn Madison is next. Penn is the father of Millie Madison. They just moved to Colorado to obtain cannabis-based medicine for his daughter. Kim Hips, RN from Nashville, a multiple sclerosis patient. And finally, Kathy Walker from Fayetteville, a cancer survivor. We've asked each of them to basically read a statement to you of no more than about 3 minutes apiece. So Andrew, can we start with you? And do we need to hold a microphone down for him? There you go.
How's that? Byron?
Yes.
My name's Andrew Booker. I'm 29 years old, married, sick, and frankly at the end of my medical road. I have 15 listed conditions, including 7 autoimmune disorders. And I want to talk to you about 2 of these specifically. In 2006, I was diagnosed with intractable epilepsy. My healthcare providers have tried every anti-seizure drug currently available to get my epilepsy under control. Currently, I take 3 separate drugs for my epilepsy, along with maintaining a very strict and stringent diet, a ketogenic diet. I see experts at Johns Hopkins Hospital, Baltimore, and Vanderbilt here in Nashville. And even with all this work and effort, I still have continuous breakthrough grand mal seizures. This has led to countless ER visits and hospital admissions. The second condition I have is called autonomic autoimmune ganglionopathy, or AAG for short. AAG is a degenerative disorder that leads to neuropathy of the autonomic nervous system. That's the part of your nervous system involved with all the things you don't control with your conscious mind. As AAG progresses, I lose systems, and lately it's been attacking my digestive tract, which leads to a total lack of hunger as well as trouble in processing the medications I have to take to maintain all my other conditions. Cannabis can potentially help all of these problems. Cannabis has a proven track record of being very effective in treating epilepsy where other therapies have failed. And for some, it's the only treatment that works. Its ease of use and various ways of being administered makes it a godsend for a lot of people. And cannabis can also improve my ability to eat. As I've said, diet's extremely important in helping me treat my seizure disorder. One of the most common things you hear, especially from people who haven't eaten in a while when they use cannabis, is how quickly their desire to eat returns. Speaking as someone whose life depends on being able to eat, and yet has to fight a gag reflex to get anything down, it's just simply amazing. This medicine has the potential to give life back to so many people in so many ways. And I'm here today, a former police officer and missionary, a husband, a sick man, asking for your help. With a simple vote of yes, you could be turning so many lives around for the better. Just the idea of not having to wake up hours after a seizure feeling like I got hit by a semi-truck and seeing the tear stains on my wife's face, knowing that she'd been screaming and crying, that she had to sit not knowing if I was going to wake up from this one. Knowing that there's a medication out there that could potentially help me and help all my other medications work better. And knowing that there's a simple plant that has the potential to change so many broken lives in a very good way, I find myself asking, how can we say anything other than yes to such a great thing? As it stands, we know that marijuana is effective at treating cancer, glaucoma, MS, chronic nerve pain, muscle spasms, HIV, AIDS, ALS, Crohn's, PTSD, Hep C, weight loss due to illnesses, chemotherapy, and seizures, just to name a few. The point is, I'm one face of the many who could come before you and explain how we tried traditional medicine and hit a wall. We have mountains of drugs prescribed by teams of well-intentioned doctors that led us to a place where we have nowhere left to go. My family and many others like us will literally have to pick up our lives and move in order for us to get the health care we need. Just as many others have done before us, one of whom's name graces this bill. The healthcare board especially deal with people's basic life needs, and this goes beyond simple legislation. We need your help. Hurting, sick people need your sympathy and your help. What would you do if this was your family, your life, if this was your wife's tear-stained face?